Buhari only approved his own BIM Onovo. Buhari only approved his own version of PIB, Onovo said. Chief Martin Onovo is a top oil and gas engineering and management consultant as well as head policy position movement for fundamental change MFC. He was the 2015 presidential candidate of the National Conscience Party NCP. In his interview with Ejikeme Emenazu, he bears his mind on the controversies surrounding the recent signed Petroleum Industry Act and why the Niger Delta people are kicking against it. Here is what he has to say. We know that Buhari will sign this version of the PIB into law as it was his uh, own patriotic version that was passed by the rubber stamp National Assembly. The version passed does not meet the original objective of the PAPE. Instead, it promotes Buhari's sectional objectives. Also, it does not meet the expectation of stakeholders and most Nigerians. It is unpatriotic, sectional, device, and wasteful. Its brazen promotes a tendency to a patriotic monopoly in the downstream sector by the restriction of the importation of petroleum products to active and refinery license holders. This subverts rather free market principles by excluding very many qualified and experienced companies from the business. It has also quietly removed subsidies on petroleum products while simultaneously push towards an unpatriotic monopoly on petroleum product importation. This is very corrupt and pernicious. It will increase inflation, unemployment, poverty, and crime. It will further destroy the value of the naira. This PIM Act is destructive and amounts to national economic sabotage committed by the ruling party. On the host community found the 3% passed by the Senate and House of Representatives is inadequate and has been rejected by both the Pan Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, and Ijaw National Congress (INC). The 30% of NNPC Ltd. Profit passed as Frontier Exploration Fund in is extremely wasteful and another means of economic sabotage by the ruling party. It was still this same Buhari as a military dictator in 1984-85 that wasted a lot of national resources on exploration in the Chad Basin area. In the last 6 years, he has again wasted a lot of resources on the same unproductive venture, and he has unpatriotic version of the PIB. This act unpatriotic because it will cause national crisis, disunity, exploitation, and citizen of waste. It will also subvert productivity in the oil industry. The PIP Act is tantamount to national economic and sabotage. What was signed deviates from what was originally proposed. It is sectional and unpatriotic deviation from the original objectives. The direct prompts sectionalism, injustice, disunity, waste, and national economic sabotage. Rightly so, the protests are clearly justified. There is a need for justice to the Niger Delta to recognize their ownership rights and the severe environmental impacts they have endured for many decades and most must continue to endure due to the oil exploration and production activities in their community. We see very many problems. Nigeria state governors have questioned the ownership of the new NNPC Ltd that is vested in the Federal Ministry of Finance. We agree with the state governor because the NNPC is owned by the three tiers of government and not just the federal government. The allocation of 30% of the profits from NNPCs to frontier exploration is inappropriate, sectional, and very wasteful. A simple assessment of the colossal allocation indicates that it is improper. because it lacks professional insight. It is sectional and wasteful. Exploration is conducted based on higher chance of success and not based on wasteful allocation of funds. Previous efforts is the last 40 years in the northern frontier have been unsuccessful. International oil companies that operate in Nigeria do not waste significant resources in this northern frontier because they know that the chance of success they are very low. This in unpatriotic legalization of waste care national resources. The allocation of 3% of operation cost to host community is unjust and provocative. Host community own this resource and their ownership rights must be respected. Also, these host communities suffer the environmental impact of oil production activities most and should be adequately compensated. The restriction of the importation of petroleum products to the active refinery license holders is unjustifiable as it prompts a corrupt monopoly and subvert free market competition. This will subject Nigerian people and residents to undue exploitation. Many companies have previously developed and demonstrated robust capacity to import and distribute petroleum products. This restriction subverts their businesses, sabotage our national economic, and exposes our people to pernicious exploitation. What solution and advice would you offer to ensure that Nigerians do not throw away the baby with the bath water as far as the PIB as assented to be the president is concerned? This version of the PIB has unpatriotic objectives. It is a perversion of the original objectives of the PIB. The problem we highlighted with are very fundamental to solution is to go back to the original objectives of the PIB that are patriotic and draft a new PIB that will meet those patriotic objectives. Okay, oh, they've said it already that if the president do not revert the PAB, that they are going to protest against it. But 3% seriously is too small for people who owns the oil since they know that those people do not have any livelihood apart from that oil because all their lands are polluted because they can't do anything, they can't farm or anything with their land because everywhere is full with oil. That's why they are asking the federal government to bring back the PIB and not put it to the 3% they said they would. It should go back to the 15% it was, or rather they are even supposed to even make it higher than it is right now and not this 3% they are even talking about. Not fair at all, not fair on the people of the Niger Delta. Well, you can go to the comment section and share your take on this. Thanks for listening.